Icy in playing Mei. It is true that Icy has played a lot of Mei in the past. Someone that really favors the Mei at times when possible. And want to try to use that value, try to get the value out of Mei with the splits and the Blizzard.
It's a type of name you run into in ranked and just assume it's a Mei 1 trick, realistically speaking. But Envy still deciding what they want to roll out with here. Gonna be moving over to what looks to be Somber Goats.
Triumph, they're going to look for this early split. They don't want to engage in the choke necessarily unless they see a great wall opportunity. It's better to just let them come towards the point, try to isolate someone later, or even on the round here for the statue. Envy, though, with Sharp on the Sombra. Sharp is going to be looking for key hacks. When the hacks comes out, when the engage for Triumph and for Envy is happening, he's going to look for a hack to try to take the pressure off his team.
Numlocked moving forward. Nice support on the Numlocked. He was a little bit far forward, got super low. The armor pack was there. Now Envy still in it and good to go. Triumph getting pushed back a bit. No wall of potential threat here to turn the fight. Envy about ready to take another attempt, so if there's going to be a wall from Triumph, it needs to be soon.
Going to wait for those cooldowns to come up, but now Decod, he's hacked. No shields available. Envy, they're going to move towards the point. Try to set up here, waiting for Decod to come back in. They fight for the same bubble.
Wall comes out, and it's still totally fine for Envy. They move on forward, chasing down Decod, but Numlocked gets Samito instead. Samito tried the peel, doesn't quite happen. And Envy, off the failed wall, just moves in and cleans up Triumph.
That's exactly how you want to play that matchup there if you're running that Sombra versus the Mei, where Triumph, their whole goal is they know they can beat you in a straight-up fight. They know they can get an isolation with the wall or freeze. But with Sharp playing the high ground and looking for that hack on Decod, it gives Envy the chance to move onto the point without having to use a bubble, and they can just save bubble for engage.
And Envy, you want to talk about economy that's good for the next fight. This is it, particularly the EMP. Triumph, they have a lot of reserve, but EMP can make this go quite poorly for them, even with that being the case.
A lot of this is going to be based off this. Triumph, A, awkward can't get caught, needs to be split here, and B, does Triumph ult first. There's no D.Va on the field for Envy. There's nothing to eat either the Blizzard or the grab, and instead they're going to Samito, they're going to use the rally in.
Well, they walk forward and they just solo shatter Happy, but Happy's fine, gets back up. And the EMP gets strike all of Triumph. Shatter it from Numlocked on the fall through, knocks down the breast. And Envy off the Mammoth. EMP from Sharp. Gonna move forward and clean things up, and they still get to keep the grab for next fight. Oh no!
It zooms in here and gonna deny the energy for Lynx as well as some later staggers. Not the hugest deal, but definitely important because you see where the card is at now. Envy's been making sure to stack it. They need to have 3 on the card so they can have one last fight here for last around the bin. But Triumph moving in. They have a beat for the grab. They also will have a grab of their own and a Blizzard, so they have the zoning ults they need. While Envy very much counting on value here for Happy Cool's grab.
Happy Cool holding on to the Graviton. Looking for the situation. Gonna drop the grab early. Both teams trading out grabs. The block's under heavy focus fire. The Blizzard is out. It's time to get chilly here on the point. Numlock though gonna get shielded and goes for a ride. Takes Decod back the other way. But now Numlock in a little bit of a tough situation. Decod gets nanoed. Numlock is down. Shatter from Decod back the other way. Bring a few of Envy onto the ground. Envy still trying to fight this tooth and nail. The Bionade, though, out! Sends Icy to his doom. Both teams playing very evenly. And Jaru moves forward.
That was very, very well played for Envy. The fight is done. It's over. They're cleaning up. They've gotten second. But before that engage even started, Sharp had gotten the hack up to Chopped. Forces Triumph to use the Blizzard and the grab to peel because they weren't going to survive without a beat. And with both those ults removed so early, Triumph slowly but surely just lost that fight because Envy had the better ult economy. So well played from Sharp with that early hack, denying the beat early from Happy Cool. Or I should say to respond to the grab from Happy Cool.
Oh, Sharp just guns down Lucio in the back. Incredibly good tracking to make that happen. However, a good engage coming in from Triumph. They take the initiative. They go, but the shatter from Numlock knocks down 3. It's a big shatter. Fire at the fall through, and Envy in good position.
This fight's going to be cleaned up here. Decod did drop the shatter, but wasn't able to find any value. His team was still on the ground. They were all so low. And now Envy, they have the ults of Doom. They have the ults you never want to run against this comp. They have both grab and EMP at the same time. Triumph, they don't have any defensive ults. They're going to have to rally early to get in. We're going to hope that there's going to be a lot of value, insane value from Lynx and Icy.
Happy just going to drop the Graviton early. They want to focus on the Decod. They're going to get him. And as the Graviton comes down the other side, EMP dropped. Blizzard on, but Envy able to survive the worst of it. But Samito comes in off of it, still able to get 2! And the Blizzard actually does enough for Triumph to turn the fight.
And I talked about that they needed insane value, and that's what they got. They got huge value there, got 4 people. with the grab Blizzard combo, survived that fight. Envy, I think, maybe used too many ults a little too early. Triumph didn't have any support ults, they didn't have any defensive ults, and Envy should have known that, so they'd probably just try to drop one, get others out, get at the ults out of the Triumph, and then pop their other. So use a little bit too, both their fight winners a little too early in that fight before there was a 100% closeout. And now Triumph are still in it, they're going to have double support ult here.
It's going to be the battle of nanos. Both Ana's about to have nano, Crypto has it right now. Wall is up, wall is down, opportunity for Envy. Just move forward, Happy gets down Decod. Can be answered by beat from top, but not time to save Decod on the other side. Envy working at the man advantage, the nano is out. But Triumph slowing things down at the Mei just a little bit. Graviton going to be used. The problem is they're down to Mei that they don't have the follow through that they normally would have. Sharp putting in the EMP. Shatter in from Decod, doesn't quite connect. Envy though, getting stalled out to a pretty incredible degree right now.
And with the rally from Samito right now, there's a lot of chance for Triumph to stay on this point. They also have Awkward back. It's a very winnable now for Triumph. It's still very winnable. They're close to Blizzard.
Graviton going to be invested from Envy.
Great wall.
Push back. The wall buys time to peel. Eliminates a lot of the time for Grab the focus fire. Even as Lynx falls, Triumph is getting very good stagger back onto the point. If they can get one more pick off, this is turnable for Triumph. And Envy find themselves a bit split off here. Opportunity for Triumph to divide and conquer. Zero going to get out of the danger zone. Beat dropped. Icy falls. The Blizzard forcing Envy back. Two getting frozen. Triumph looking for anything off it. Sharp going to cover with the EMP back the other way. And Envy, they haven't given up on taking this the entire way, but the delay now starting to become a little bit less effective for Triumph as Envy finally gets more control. The Shatter going to seal the deal.
This delay was still insane. Absolutely insane for Triumph. That was, what, a minute and a half of delay almost? It felt like an eternity. I'm sure it had to feel like 2 eternities if you're Envy. Very good delay from Triumph, partially off that play, keeping Icy alive for so long. Finally, Envy getting the value they need, just getting the pick, setting up the EMP later. It's tough. It's a tough ult cycle for Envy. I think they had to get a lot more value there. They had to get a lot more value from their ult cycle.
I think the key there, too, for Triumph is that it wasn't just delay, where there's plenty of times where you see a team delaying and you go, well, they're not going to win the fight. Really, up until the end, that was potentially winnable for Triumph. It wasn't the best situation, but Envy had to give a lot of respect to the stall that was coming in from the Mei, and certainly the Blizzard at the very end, because if Triumph had gotten even one person, that was a fight that they could have turned fully the other way.
So now Triumph going to be on this offense. Envy, their bank got slowed down a lot, despite what was a relatively fast time through first and second. Triumph had a very long last defense. Even if it wasn't a full hold, even though it didn't get it break into OT, it was a very good long one. So a lot of chances for Triumph to equalize here, to get a better bank. As Envy, they're rolling out here on a Sombra Goat setup. We'll have Sharp on that Sombra and Crimson on the Ana there. So the flexibility to deal with DPS. Have that fight win, that ult cycle, that's so important. And for a comp like this, you're almost not even playing to win first, you're playing for second. You're playing for that next fight on second, to stop the snowball, set your team up.
Gonna be playing this very close to the early gateway. Going forward, looking for those Fire Strike. And I think Envy, they're going to decide, they're going to look at that and go, actually, let's bring it back a little bit more.
They definitely can't take this fight very aggressively at the chokes because of Icy being on this Mei. They're afraid of the isolation. Translocator is forced, so Triumph are going to take this rotation now while Sharp is repositioning.
Drop the wall for a little bit of cover. It's not a split wall, just to give Triumph a bit of breathing room to try and move in, but Awkward still gets caught. Sharp is pressuring on the Sombra, incredibly effective. Already 54% to EMP, and the pressure coming up from Sharp is immense.
It's going to be cleaned up now for Envy. Very good rotations for them. Good find for Sharp, who's already 90% to EMP. Numlocked has Shatter, so EMP Shatter is available already for Envy. Or EMP Nade. There's so many options. There's so much value utility from this comp right now. And Triumph, they need to find a lot more from these walls. A lot more from the walls. If you're going to be playing Mei, the most critical component, especially on neutral fights, is getting wall value.
Well, getting wall value in the next fight going to be incredibly difficult, especially versus EMP. They might not even realize Sharp has it, though. Oh, Sharp gets caught!
So good by Samito. What a good read.
He EMP. He used the EMP. It gets completely interrupted. Triumph. They have have a real chance because it's Amito with the bash of the gods.
Now Sharp does live, so they don't lose Sharp completely, but such a good read there from Amito. They're going to pop the rally, they're going to go aggressively now, knowing there's no EMP to worry about, knowing there's no Ultra
The wall keeping him in a really tough spot. He's healed up though, drops the shatter, knocks down 2. He caught on the ground.
Chopped, he tries to beat, he dies!
Oh, Alt's getting interrupted left, right, and center. But Envy standing tall as the smoke clears. That was a crazy fight.
That was. It was such a good opening for Samito there, even if they don't pick off Sharp. Chop, it's the you're in a main support conundrum where I'm 99% to beat. My team's in grab. We can win this fight if I hit the beat. And it's so risky to go for it there when they know there's no EMP for the following fight. They could have had beat right now. Tough for Chop.
Ref immediately trying to come back in. They nano the Rhine early. Decon though, it's bionated. Has to back up a little bit. Beat or nano or no. Drops the Blizzard and don't fight. Numlock. All frozen. Numlock down. Triumph working with man advantage here. Envy close to an EMP mid-fight. They get down awkward. This is still fightable for Envy. Graviton is out. Sharp close to EMP. Doesn't get the chance to build it. Graviton from Link's enough to give the fight to Triumph.
That is what Triumph needed there. They needed to set up a engage very aggressively while there was no EMP out, and that's what they did. The grab from Link's sealing the deal. Triumph, they do get first. Not quite as blazingly fast as Envy, but still a good time. As Link's, he slept here on the corner, but his team, they need to support him to make sure he lives. They want to keep this energy up.
Envy meanwhile gonna open up the EMP, hits 3. Icy down immediately. And Triumph, even with only 3 EMP'd, it was the right 3 as Envy is able to just casually walk forward and into Triumph. And that lets them reset up here for a point B defense, where Envy, overall on the map, still in a pretty good spot.
They will have grab for the following fight, knowing that Triumph does not have any support ults besides the rally that's coming up. So Envy gonna hold aggressively here, look to set up their grab. The wall is used, but there's a grab to kill.
Graviton in and Envy taking us right to spawn. Hit him with the Brad Rajani when they least expect it.
The fight win for Envy now. Sharp is going to set up on this high ground. Envy probably going to take this high ground position themselves, or unless, it looks like they want to own the low ground right now and have Sharp be the one patrolling. I think it can be risky to give up this high ground advantage. I think the high ground's so strong controlling that mega pack because now Triumph, they can just rotate, look to rotate around, all the way around. But Envy, they're not worried about it because they're going to sit on cart. They're going to sit on cart in spawn.
Yeah, one way or another, Triumph has to go to the objective, and gonna drop wall, Blizzard with isolation, Numlocked. Gonna fall as a result, drops the shatter, and the pressure got very little. Triumph able to clean up here, so running the maze still working out for them to a degree, but it isn't giving them a very quick time.
They are gonna win this fight though, getting some stagger picks as well. Good Blizzard there for Icy to get the split for Envy. They're isolate Numlocked, and now Triumph, they're moving forward. Sharp 75% to the EMP. The two most important ults for Envy are the grab and the EMP that's coming up. They likely can get it very, very soon. For Triumph, they want to get this cart to a last fight. They want to get this cart right here on the last. They want to be able to win it early with a grab.
So what Triumph was doing there, Icy was just searching for Sharp, got the decloak, didn't amount to anything. But could have. Early Graviton can be out here. Decon, Nano moving in. Again, they used the wall, just put Numlock in. That's why he's able to get away! The peel is there, the counter Nano, and Envy turns the fight that was, for a moment, looking pretty good for Triumph.
That was a bad engage. That was a bad engage there for Lynx. Lynx, he gets caught. He gets hacked. He's forced to grab before he's hacked. And they didn't have any bubbles to set up. They didn't have him getting energy there. And now Envy can set up here again at the choke. A little too far forward there for Lynx. They're getting caught on that balcony. And this is really worst case scenario for Triumph because they've used their grab. They've lost the fight, which is so important. And Sharp can build up towards another EMP. Happycool's going to have grab of his own. Chop to use the beat. There's no defensives. Very, very rough position to be in for Triumph.
And don't forget for Triumph, they have to finish with time left on the clock. If they finish in overtime, it's not enough.
60 seconds.
Decon is slept on the high ground. Going to get woken up. And right now, Triumph, they're sort of just waiting to get the rally, waiting to get Blizzard. They're hoping to get some value from here, but Happycool can just grab early. And there it is.
Again, they use the wall to try and deal with Numlocked, but the support Numlocked way too good. The ground top from Happy does enough to set things up. And Envy, they've adapted to this strategy of trying to isolate Numlocked. He's simply not falling.
I mean, any time that they have grab and they try to set up a wall, Happycool just grabs. Happycool just grabs immediately, peeled for him. Sharp 80% to the EMP. EMP Shatter, such a strong combo here. If Sharp can get it in time. Because Triumph still will not have beat. Oh, the wall block Shatter!
Wall out. And now Envy moving forward. They use the beats early and the nano, but Numlocked stuck in the Blizzard, getting frozen. Numlocked taking super low. The Peel though coming in from Numlocked again. Numlocked still alive. Buys time for the EMP back the other way. The EMP strikes 5. Triumph still in it. Envy not feeling comfortable to fall through. Icy gets out of the danger zone. Graviton now in from Triumph. And Envy looking awfully low. The Bionade gonna seal the deal. And Triumph not done yet.
That was an insane amount of focus fire put onto Numlock there. Good Blizzard. Icy already 92% to another Blizzard after that fight. Very, very good. But for Triumph, they've lost so much time here in Streets. They've had to use that grab there. It's going to be they have to be perfect. Can't lose a fight here if they want to get time left on the clock. They cannot lose a fight.
Yeah, they have to speed run. The problem is it's not about finishing in overtime. They need at least 1 second or they don't get another attack. The best they could do would be a draw.
Another push over available. They trying to set up the isolation. They do get it.
They look for Numlocked once more, but again, Numlocked is going to live here. It looks like Numlocked's getting away one more time, but oh, the shatter in from Decon is going to seal his fate. As Triumph keeps things going. That's one fight, but they're still going to need more, including they have to go against EMP next.
And right after the EMP, they will also have grab as well. There's also double support ult for Envy with the rally, with the nano. There's no ults for Triumph. It's double support ult, but they have to commit to this fight if they want to be able to win the map.
They have to somehow miracle stun Sharp, but that's not going to happen this time. EV though, only hits 2.
Good beat.
Beat is there. I think that was a little bit rushed from Envy. Triumph, they still have a chance. Graviton, Envy, a little bit later. They go forward. Sabino's down. Numlock there, the fall through off the nano. Gonna drop the shadow for good measure, and that's it.
15 seconds left on the clock for Triumph. They might be able to touch, but with no ults and a stagger, they cannot finish. And even if they could finish, the best they could is drop. There's no way they're going to be able to. This is definitely map.
Even if the impossible happens here, and they somehow bring this back, and Chopped wasn't denied the way it was there, for Triumph to bring this back would be insane. Envy, just too good of positioning, and Triumph under too much time pressure to make this a reasonable push. Graviton at the very end, but again, no hope. Beat out from Envy. Decon drops a shatter. Falling on point, 1 by 1. That's gonna be Envy. Finishing out King's Row. 2-1.
So Envy picking up King's Row. It was some miracle plays there for Triumph. Really trying to make that Mei work. I think versus the Sombra, the Mei, it's tough because if you have to be getting consistent value with the Mei. Because otherwise, you're always going to be losing a lot more neutral fights. You're going to also be dealing with the fact that your ult economy, in terms of the ults, the impact that they have, EMP is so strong comparatively because all they have to do is save speed boost, save bubbles, and you can get out from Blizzard. So very, very tough ask.
All in all, I wasn't the biggest fan of the Mei there because here's the issue. Yes, they were winning fights eventually and getting okay Blizzard engages, but when you're running the Mei, it's a pretty slow composition. It wasn't the type of comp that could actually set a good time on King's Row, and what did that end up leading them to? All right, you're on point C, but you're on point C and you essentially have no time left, and now you're stuck in this spot where even if they were the complete, well, guess what? They don't get another attack. So I just don't think it gave them enough quality attempts over the course of King's Row relative to what we saw from Envy.
It just requires a lot of coordination. It requires a lot of coordination. It requires you to get a lot more value on your neutral fights, because if you're not winning neutral fights, then Sombra's getting EMP very quickly because so much of your engage, you don't have a diva to deny her anything. You don't have a diva to deny her spam, to deny any damage. It's tough to get the same sort of value from a Mei that you'd be getting from a Sombra unless you're consistently finding isolation, which they weren't.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not that Icy's Mei was bad. It's the difficulty with the composition. But going into the next map, it is going to be Dorado, and I have to say, I think this is a pretty bad omen for Triumph, where Triumph, their best chance for how they play, was to win King's Row, and then to win on Control because they were able to win on Control early in the day. Control, of course, look, it's variable. Anyone can beat anyone on Control on the right day, so long as the skill levels are close enough. But going up against Envy here in Dorado, I think is going to be the toughest ask of Triumph here yet.
It's really a question of what comp are they going to play. I think that for Dorado, you can see some value from a Mei again if they want to play Mei for first and maybe last, but you can't play Mei on second. It's still going to be a lot harder to find that value unless you're playing like a Sombra or a triple TPS comp, which Envy can do, because the one thing about Envy is that they can play a lot of comps. Yeah. They're very flexible. So for Triumph, it's tough for them to really run something that they've shown propensity for. They're much safer just sticking with like a Sombra Goats or a 3-3 with a Winston and an Ana, because then they can deny some of the value there. So a lot of this for Dorado is based around what comp they pick and hopefully getting the value from it, because Envy is so flexible and can play just about everything that's meta.
And part of the reason for that is that Envy is just an incredible veteran team, where you look at players like Sharp. Sharp is actually one of the better transformation stories, because Sharp at one point was the quintessential Tracer one trick, and eventually ended up learning a pretty good Widow. And the more recent metas have forced Sharp to very much get out of his previous comfort zone, play heroes like Zarya, play heroes like Sombra. So Sharp has gotten more well-rounded, and Jaru, it's easy to forget, but Jaru goes all the way back to Contenders 2017. He was a player that I think under slightly different circumstances probably would have been in the Overwatch League in the inaugural season. And as a result, Jaru's seen plenty of metas, and Jaru is a player that has been forced to play just about everything. There was a stint where Jaru was a hit scan DPS. But now he's in Brigida jail most of the time. But likely changing soon.
The keys will be, soon he'll be receiving the keys to set him free, to break out, to re-enter DPS society.
Excellent.
So Envy going to be on this offense. You get a little bit of scouting right now, and Triumph making a different swap here, which I do like, which is the Orisa Hog. Having the Orisa Hog, the double sniper, first in particular, and I mean, you could run it really throughout all this map. You have lots of sight lines for the snipers. You have very good opportunities to set up those hook halt combos.
And given what we've seen from Lynx and Smeo before, I think this is a decent strategy for Triumph to attempt to run here.
Look at what Evie's running. They pull out the Hog Orisa themselves, but they put Sharp on Orisa. They're playing quad tank, but with double shield hero.
Well, they've added two just pure EU energy players onto their team.
This is so EU.
You think they're not going to quad tank?
This is so EU, what I'm witnessing right now. And
EU
it's working.
Invaded.
It's working too. They're able to isolate Icy right there. They're moving forward. The mortar allows them to be aggressive when they're aggressive. With Sharp now on the Orisa, they also have a second barrier to stop the spam, to stop the value here from Samito and Lynx.
We're getting that EU hooligan energy that's going on right now. It's all centered around the quad tank. Triumph don't have an answer. It's getting rolled over.
I mean, they have to swap. They can't play double sniper to this. They literally must swap. But if they swap into a 3-3, then Envy's just going to swap out. They're going to swap out of this composition. They won't stay on it. We're going to see hero chess.
The swaps are heading out, but damage.
They should swap. Are they going to stay? No, okay, yeah, they're swapping. But they're going to keep Jaru on the Hog, though. So they're still saying quad tank. They're just putting Sharp on the Zarya now into the 3-3. This is something I don't really like. I think Envy are just, I don't know why they're going to stay on it. Maybe they just feel confident they can get value here from Hog still.
I mean, I think from their perspective, why not run it for one fight, see if it works? Numlocked. Again, getting focus fired early. Build back up. Heavy fire onto Lynx on the other side. Shield just barely keeping Lynx in the fight. There's a shadow, though, from Numlocked. Sneaky from around the corner, knocks down two. Fall through, not necessarily there immediately. Icy, though, deep diving. Gonna get away with the mech. And the bomb directly down the middle. And it's gonna connect. Gets Lucio down.
But Decon!
Shadow from Decon off on the other side. However, maybe able to turn the fight. Numlock super low. It's Numlock to get away. The beat catches Numlock just in the nick of time. And Envy's still in the fight.
Samito, he is using that rally. They're still sustained here, but despite the massive shatter from Decon, it's over. They were able to win the fight. Their focus fire still a lot better. But all those ults that had to be burned for Envy in a fight that looked very won for them, though, this is good for Triumph. They've been able to get the Zin now, too, versus the quad tank, or actually Jaru now swapping to Brigida, forcing Envy to back off the cart. That was still a good exchange for Triumph. Decon keeping them in it by forcing so many ults and buying the time.
Decon's had an outstanding performance here today. Win or lose for Triumph, even if Dorado does not go their way, feel good about things. As Coalescence in from Envy, start things out. Shatter in from Decon, countered by a Shatter from Numlocked on the other side. Only it's chopped. Numlocked, though, finishes off chopped. Finishes played. Numlocked again under very heavy pressure. Heading back, bomb out onto the payload. Counter Graviton in from Envy. Looking for the fall through. Lynx Graviton, half a cool, smothers it right in the moment. And Envy still in the fight, rally active, moving forward. Decon under incredible pressure, finally gonna fall. and Envy taking control of the fight.
I think they're going to commit. Awkward's going to commit this trance here. They're still in this fight. They're running. While Crimso's on the Moira, there's not really a lot of focus fire for him right now. There's not a disco rush. There's not that extra damage. So Triumph, they can stay in this fight. They can wait for the spawns. But this fight is so dependent on the support for Envy. Can this Coalescence get the value they need?
Another shatter from Decon, knocking to the ground. Fire, though, right there at the beat and Sharp. Gonna continue beaming. Looking for Decon. Decon, though, getting well supported. And the supports for both teams really phenomenal as Triumph is able to pull that one back.
Triumph just played that so well, though. They were able to sustain long enough to build the Transcendence, and that was the weakness of Envy's comp. For having Crimso stay on Moira is they do not win long fights. You do not win the long fights when all of Triumph are still there and healthy, because the Zen, their focus fire is going to be so much stronger, the Transcendence is great, and now Triumph, they stopped them at one of the most critical points of the map, close to the second, and they're going to have a rally, they're going to have a grab. Fresh support ults for Envy, not close at all to a transfer or beat. So this is a very winnable scenario. Once again, the onus is on Happy Cool. He's eat that grab before. If he can eat grab or just deny the value with a bomb, this is a very winnable fight for Envy.
On the other side, too, if Sharp just lands a really good grab to start things out as Envy takes the high ground, gets better positioning, that can also be enough. Lynx, though, you have to think is setting up for the grab. The problem is you can't grab here. You have to wait until they drop.
And the problem for Triumph is that, for Envy, is that Triumph are close to the double support ult. They already have the rally as well to sustain. They can't just snipe a grab.
Graviton in, they look for it on the ground, Rez, and he drops. Jaru under heavy pressure, Jaru falls. And Envy might want, no, they decide to commit, but Sharp drops grab when they're down 2.
Definitely, that was can't be what they want. It can't be what they want at all. Now they've lost the grab for the following fight.
Not the ideal grab. Minute 20 left from Envy. This is holdable for Triumph, especially on second point Dorado, which is pretty defensible to begin with. They're in a better spot in terms of ult economy. Next fight is crucial.
Triumph has double support when there's no grab on the field too, so they can be perfectly fine. Looking to even beat early, knowing Fire won't have it yet. They have a lot of options in this upcoming fight. The D.Va's going to be important to watch. D.Va's are going to be very, very important to watch in this fight.
Rally going to be out here early. Icy opening up with the bomb. Cool, meanwhile, on the other side, hasn't used bomb on the other side. Numlock drops a shatter. Doesn't connect. Decon shatter, knocks down Happy. The bomb can't come out. However, the Transcendence keeping Envy in the fight. Now Cool. They drop the bomb in the back, forcing movement out Triumph. The beat used as a result. Envy, though, barely drained. They're going to get a beat up. It's not in time to save Sharp. However, Reinhardt down on the other side. Samito getting isolated. Numlocked in the perfect position.
Wait, Lynx misses grab, but it still forces beat, but he missed the grab. He missed the grab entirely there. And now Envy, they're on the point. They're in a good scenario. Lynx still has a lot of energy, will have his bubble to sustain. Decon is back, but can they win?
This is delayable for Triumph, but not anymore. Envy getting the final few crucial pickoffs. They're going to get 2-point B. They get about a minute 40 left to tackle point C, and the stagger continues.
And that was almost so won for Triumph. They managed to remove the support ults. They traded out frags. They removed the Zarya, such an important getting rid of Sharp there because there's no bubbles, no damage, which is a primary damage dealer there. And Lynx had grab, but he was hoping to catch him on the corner, and Envy rotated out of it. He just doesn't. He's not able to find them. And there's only a little over a minute left for Envy. That's why Sombra goes.
Triumph trying to very aggressively reclaim space here. Shatter from Numlock though in response. Now from Decon, back on the other side, heals with Numlock Shatter, and then some. Numlocked ends up falling as a result. Both Reinhardts having excellent moments with that one. Just a bit better for Decon.
Triumph, they're still going to be poking here, trying to build another Transcendence, get close to this grab. Sharp is 50% to EMP. With the Transcendence and with both the Trances and those Shatters being traded, this is much better for Triumph. They're closer to the beat. They can hold aggressively, knowing they'll eat more damage. They have a bomb set up for the engage.
Up, over. Envy gonna shrug it off. Numlocked. Getting pretty low here to start things out, but we'll still make the most of it. Triumph a little bit overextended. Now they're staggering. They can't do anything more. They need to reset and do it now. 25 seconds left for Envy, and they can still finish things out.
Triumph need to grab first. In this upcoming fight, they need to grab first. Triumph has EMP. Triumph so close to those support ults, but if they get the grab out first, even if the EMP comes out, they can finish it out since Envy has no support ults.
Sharping on to EMP in this is a situation where you could get 6 links. Opens with the early grab, but here comes Sharp right to the back, drops EMP. The beat from Chopped right there makes it winnable. Jaru already out of the fight, Numlocked low, and the front line from Envy devastated. The grab from Lynx set the tone, but the beat from Chopped made it winnable despite Sharp's grab. Transcendence in from Awkward. The final little bit of cleanup heading on in. Envy though, still gonna try and fight tooth and nail. Use the Transcendence in waning numbers. Apple swap to emergency Hammond, but it's Triumph who's in control.
So gets the armor pack. They're going to be rallying back in, but with the bomb from Icy, they can't touch. Triumph did the exact right thing they needed. They grab first early, even with EMP being out. Chopped made sure to hide. He keeps Awkward alive. Good beat from Chop there. And so Triumph stopped the full cap on Dorado. Pretty good defense for Triumph. I think they made some good adjustments.
I think both teams have had really, really good support play. And, you know, we're not the type to throw out praise for no reason, but it's been incredible the amount of times that we've seen tanks get displaced, tanks go in deep, and get away on both sides with 20% HP or more. And I don't even think it's an issue of focus fire. Both teams are very heavily hunting Numlocked and Decod respectively. And I think it's a testament to the supports on both sides, but particularly for Envy, where I'm getting flashbacks, and not to throw shade on British Hurricane here, I'm really not trying to do that, but I think when we saw British Hurricane at the Atlantic Showdown, and how many times we'd seen Numlocked go in isolated and fall very quickly. Numlocked is practically immortal playing with Envy in a lot of these fights.
Envy's backline between Fire and Crimzo are extremely good. You can't underrate them. They're arguably, potentially one of the best, if not the best. When you know, pretty much their only competition is the Atlanta Academy backline, right? Between Astro and Kodak.
No.
So can't be underestimated how much value these are. And despite Chopped having some unfortunate moments, still overall very good series for him. Awkward has been a player that I've been seeing more and more in terms of I'm seeing what he can do. So both the backlines for both these squads performing very good, giving a lot of value to their main tanks. Envy now going to be on this defense, playing Sombra Goats with Numlocked on the Winston. So they're going to play a little slow, look to build EMP, get a lot of contest. At Triumph, they're just going to go full 3-3 into this. And something to note is that when you look how Envy are going to control the high ground and have that Sombra, is that Awkward is going to get pressured a lot. It looks like he's just going to go swap. He's not even going to play Zen. He looks like he's going to go Ana. Yeah, probably a little bit easier for him to survive now.
Usually goes Ana. Triumph, meanwhile, just focused on the objective. Halfical under a lot of pressure. Slowly backing out of there, playing the support seal up. Numlocked, though, pretty deep, gets bionated. Not going to be healed up through that one. Still, though, gets his pound of flesh towards the end. Ana out of the fight. And Envy, if nothing else, getting pretty good delay here, even down 2.
Fire able to find links. I mean, Fire and Crimzo have been still contesting this cart the entire time, trying for having trouble moving forward. And Envy, they've sustained. I'm not going to come back on this Ryan now, seeing the sustain, seeing that Decod is on this Ryan of his own. Sharp has EMP already, though. EMP with a nade should be able to finish the fight if all of Envy are there to clean it up. They're going to wait for them to get into this choke for all to be funneled in.
Oh, Sharp drops EMP, hits 5, and that is a swift beatdown coming in from Envy. They're ready for Sharp's EMP. Triumph was anything but. So, Envy wins a quick team fight, but in a sense, if you're Triumph, if you're going to lose an EMP fight, that's the type of EMP fight you'd want to lose. Just make it over really quickly.
Now, no EMP for Envy in this upcoming fight. Triumph also has the Shatter advantage. We'll have that Nano very, very soon. They can look to enter the point aggressively. And also with Envy not playing Zarya, this means there's a lot of damage on this. This also means they don't have to worry about grab at all. They can be much more aggressive with the funnel, and that's exactly what they're doing.
See Triumph moving on. Awkward down! This is Nano is being applied. Halfical drops a bomb over the top. Triumph working down 1 here so far. Still committed here. Shatter, though, in from Numlocked. Well, that's one way to break some commitment. Throwing them off the point. Decod smash against the railing. Triumph in a rough spot here, Avast, down to their final minute 40.
Triumph's deciding to stay in that fight even after Awkward is down and not finding value. And as Awkward goes Zen now, he's going to go Zen now with a minute half. I mean, they're not even close. They're going to have to step from 0 there. Sharp has EMP. Crimzo has the nade to follow up, has a Nano if they need it as well. This fight is going to be tough.
EMP striking forward. Chop, though. They're at the immediate beat. Going to be mitigating the worst of it. Triumph. Shrug off the EMP. Graviton used. Those 2 on the Envy. The Shatter from Decod on the follow through. Massive. In fact, almost an overinvestment there for Triumph, but hey, when you got to be sure.
Envy tried to commit their beat that fight. They did commit their beat that fight as well. Went down to the ground, to the Shatter Bomb. Either way, now Envy have to re-enter the point with a Nano, with a rally. They have to sustain, but I don't think they're going to get there in time. They won't get there in time. So first going away of Triumph. Triumph I mean, it was a good swap, though. I don't necessarily know if it would have been that much of a difference with the Zen or the Ana there, but still a good swap. Great beat from Chop to keep them in the fight. They have the grab to set up. They are going to be able to get first. We'll have Rally very, very soon.
A little bit of pressure from Sharp coming in off the hack. Triumph, meanwhile, again, being objective focused here. Envy biding some of their time, looking for the hack. They get the hack on the decon. This is the signal to go. Envy's certainly going to be moving in off that. They just don't have the shatter to follow through. Numlock close. Not in time for the hack. Still drops the shatter anyways. It hits 4.
Now the cleanup's going to be there. Great shatter from Numlocked. Putting Triumph on the ground. Sharp 80% to the EMP here again. For Triumph, their goal is they need to get a trance. They need to get a trance. Lynx hopes to get a grab. If they can get the grab, they can grab early, deny the value from this EMP. That's going to be the name of the game here for Lynx, is trying to get this grab off early before Sharp sets the EMP. And in a position where his team can follow it up.
Well, Sharp immediately opens the EMP. He just uses it on Awkward, but it's more than enough to set the rest of the team. Half goal there in the follow through. And Envy can have grab for the next fight. Triumph, they might have 2 minutes left, but 2 minutes is not much time to go through the entirety of seconds.
This is still okay for Triumph. I mean, they removed the EMP, sure, Happy will have grab, but they have trance now. They have trance. The most important thing for Triumph is still trying to grab first, because right now, Crypto is going to be in a perfect spot to land an anti-nade. They're going to be looking to land an anti-nade using this high ground, using their position. They've already isolated Samito.
Samito picks up early, the Graviton in. Numlock down, tried to drop the shatter, interrupted midway through. And using the Transcendence down, Triumph has no way of exerting pressure here, down as many as they are. Envy can hold firm. Down to a final minute 30 here for Triumph.
Envy will have triple supportal and coming up on an EMP. They don't need to fight this at all. They can give up this card. Just keep their energy alive. They set up for the next fight. They're going to drop that rally early. There's the EMP. Catching everyone.
It's 4. It's a really nice EMP. Numlocked. No way out as a result, but the rest of them be able to retreat.
And they're still going to have EMP for the following fight, ZP.
That's fine.
Envy will still have EMP. They'll still have double supportal. They'll have EMP shatter at that. Triumph, they need Chop. A, Chop can't get caught. B, Samito would like to be able to get this rally off before the fight.
Chop has been really good about hiding from the EMPs, though. We'll see if that's going to be the case here again. Early beat out from Envy as we move on to the point. Samito isolated and down. Shatter exchange, and the Shadow's big! Ends up with 2 down. Sharp's gonna have to invest EMP now. I don't think he was trying to save it. Half goes down, and they might not have the chance.
No, they can't invest it. They can't invest it. Despite all that, Sharp was looking to set up on the back line. He was looking to catch them. He was trying to even get the beat on, or get the hack onto Chopped. But Triumph, they engage first. They engage first. Great shatter again from Decod. Lynx drops that grab early. Even if it's messy, Triumph are still realizing their weakness here, where if they just drop their ults earlier, faster, then they can win it. They can win the fight.
This is real dangerous for Envy here. Even if Envy wins the next fight, Triumph is going to be coming up on EMP right after. This is bad. Envy needs to be perfect next 2 fights, or we could be looking at map 5.
Sharp setting up on the background. He is able to get the hack onto Awkward, so no trance currently available. Right now, Happy's going to grab in response to that, but a little too late with the ante.
Unlock moving forward, already gets down 1. And now Envy, 6 on 5. Sharp on the cleanup. Triumph's still going to have one more opportunity to come forward here, but this fight was big for Envy.
This has to be an extremely fast fight for Triumph. They don't have support ults. The only way they win this upcoming fight, once again, is if they get the EMP off first, maybe get the grab off first, and it comes down to getting ults off first for Triumph. They have nothing. If they're very, very fast, they could maybe have a second fight, but I don't think at the rate they're going, this is really going to be last fight territory. It's all, for Triumph, it's all about getting their ults out early and making sure Awkward's not caught.
This is final fight. One way or another. Sharp stalking the team from the back, Triumph looking for the high ground approach. Both teams in the EMP, who's going to strike first? And it's going to be Icy, driving the EMP to the back. Unlocked down, Decon with the shadow right after. But they fire on back, Decon down, the Graviton catches Happy. Happy though, going to sustain. And the rest of Envy going back in off the Nano. Sharp back the other way, and Triumph, they've been repelled, final 15 seconds. And Envy, looking like they've done enough to take the series. Lynx is going to fall, final 10. There's no way for Triumph to get back to the point. They went for the early engage, but it wasn't quite enough. Envy extracts more in the end. And Envy, they take the series 3-1. But their ultra perfect perfection has been broken.
They do not have that anymore. They do not have those unbeaten map scores, those perfect map scores. But Triumph did take them to the edge in a lot of cases. They took off that map. I think it was probably the best series versus Envy we've seen, obviously, so far this season. Obviously because of the map loss.
No.
But for Triumph, really, when you look at what went wrong in that last push, the engage was just not good. The engage was not good. There's no other way to put it. They were looking for the early engage, which is the right idea. They had to go for the early engage. Yeah. But they could not find the value. They got to the EMP. They set up the shatter. But all of Envy was just playing split and keeps those tanks alive. They needed a better engage there. They just couldn't find one because of the split from Envy, because of the pressure that was in that situation. So very tough game for them still. But I think for Triumph, this is a good look for them moving forward to break the ultra perfect season. To take it to the edge, really, in a lot of instances, that Dorado was very winnable.
No, it really was. And as much as you can look at and go, Envy stumbled a little bit, Envy looked good for a lot of this match. The X factor here is that so did Triumph. I think you have to give a lot of credit to both support lines for these teams. And right now, based on the performance here today, if Triumph can keep it up, I think we're going to be heading towards an Envy Triumph grand final, assuming that the seeding works out that way, where, of course, it could be an Envy Triumph semifinal. We'll have to see how the final bracket goes. But either way, both teams putting on a show. And that was just our first match out of 4 here today. Guys, we're going to take a quick break, but we'll be back soon.